much.
How are you feeling?
Good. I
Are
gotta
you
pee.
nervous?
Not really.
Okay. Are you ready to talk about a very interesting time in your life?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. What is your name?
Aaliyah Flemings.
Hi, Aaliyah.
Hi.
First question. Are you a Christian?
Yes, I am a Christian.
What denomination do you belong to?
I belong to the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Seventh-day Adventist?
Yes.
Who are they?
We are the small group of people out of the large group of Christians that worship on a Saturday out of all the days of the week. First and foremost, because we believe that God created the Sabbath on the seventh day of the week, which we believe to be Saturday, and we keep that practice to this day. And also, we believe that God will come again and take us to heaven.
So that's how you have the name Advent to the name. Okay. So Advent means second coming.
Yes.
Okay. Were you born in the Seventh-day Adventist faith?
No.
So when did you become a Seventh-day Adventist?
Well, I became a Seventh-day Adventist when I was a young, wee little lad, wee little girl. I'm not too sure much about how it came to be, but I remember early years, like before I migrated to this country, I remember maybe going to church once with my grandmother on a Sunday, but other than that, I didn't go to church, and then I don't recall. Other than that, I don't recall going to church. And so I came here, and the earliest memory I have of going to church was with my cousins and my mother. And I don't really know how it came to be, but I just know I was just sitting in church one day, and that's the earliest memory I have. So I'd say maybe 7 or 8.
Are you baptized?
Yes, I am baptized.
How long have you been baptized?
For 10 years.
So, how old were you when you got baptized?
I'm 18 now, so I got baptized when I was 8 years old.
Wow, 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that that's too young for children to get baptized?
Maybe it is, but that depends on the child, honestly. Depends on like their environment, their family life, and their personality as a whole. So for some it may be, for some not so much.
Don't you think maybe Christ could influence a child through the Holy Spirit?
Of course Christ can influence a child through the Holy Spirit.
Okay. So you got baptized in what year?
2013.
Is there any significant moment or about that time when you got baptized?
Well, one very significant moment was that my mother was gonna get baptized. Yes, I recall it now. My mom was getting baptized as well, and I think that was a further push for me to do it because I look up to my mother a lot. It's usually me and her. We do a lot of things together, kind of like attached by the hip. So where she goes, I go also. And if she's going to heaven, I'm following her there too. So.
That's a smart kid. What if your mom's going to hell? God forbid. You don't have to answer that. Your mom's not going to hell. Okay, let's continue. What do you like most about being a Seventh-day Adventist / Christian?
Honestly, I like the difference, being different, because when I tell people I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, they're like, what? And then I get to explain, well, I go to church on Saturday, guys, not Sunday. I go to church on Saturday. And I also like the people that I've met here. They're very loving, and they're very kind, and sweet, and accepting.
Okay, so what persuaded you to remain in the church? I know your mom got baptized, you got baptized, you were 8 years old, you gradually became a teenager, you remain in the church, you're now 18. Basically, you could do whatever you want. So why are you still in the church?
Here's the thing. I'm going to keep it 100% real. I want to go to heaven. So I know that what I need to do to get to heaven is be here and worship God. And I'm willing to do that to go to heaven. So yes, I want to go to heaven.
Um, what has been your biggest influence? That would be the same question, right? For staying in the church.
My mom. I love my mom. She has really been a big influence. Most people would say, oh, of course, my love for God. But honestly, it may sound really bad, but the love for God came after the following of my mother. But eventually we got there. But my mom was definitely the biggest influence.
How is she the biggest influence? Like, what is it that your mom did that caused you as a child to want to remain in the church?
I see how much she she worked to raise me, and she used to work very long hours. Like, she used to have to travel to work in New Jersey, and we lived in New York. And what was really inspiring was the fact that even after all of that, she still made time to make sure that we were up early and going to church. So, I mean, it had to be very, very important to put aside the sleep that she could get on a Saturday to go to church. And, you know, it seemed important, and it rubbed off on me. It's an important thing to do, to go to church.
I think
And she used to dress me up real nice. It's nice to feel nice.
Okay, another question. Okay, did getting baptized draw you closer to God? And if not, when did you realize your need for God? You know, when did becoming a Christian got real for you?
Okay, so upon being baptized and even after, I think that I was close to God because I used to study a lot with my cousin, my older cousin Sheldon, and we used to do a lot of Bible study together. But at some point in time, I guess when you hit puberty and you want to do your own thing, diverge like a lot, not completely, but quite a lot. And you know, there was times where I'm just like, of course, there was time like I don't want to go to church, especially during the pandemic. After the pandemic, it was like tough to want to go back to church again after being at home every Saturday. But I think maybe just recently this new year, I'm like, man, I'm a woman now. I'm really responsible for myself. So I need to make sure that I work on my own spirituality because I can't depend on my mother much anymore.
Do you think that? Do you think that you being a Christian, young Christian girl, no woman, has helped you in school, in your life otherwise, to be obedient as much as possible, to stay away from indulging in certain activities? Did that influence you?
To a bit, not always, but for the most part, yes. I wasn't the type of kid in school that would, you know, act out and cause havoc and give my parents hell, or I wasn't really disobedient. There's times where I have been, for sure, but for the most part, no. I've been a good kid.
This is your final question. So you have been in the church 10 years and you're 18. That's almost all your life. So you have been a Christian more than you have been a non-Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
So what would be your advice to other young people, especially young females, on what advice would you give them as a young Christian woman?
I would tell them that you're never too young to love God, and to want to get closer to Him and build a relationship with Him. And it is very important that if you have a very responsible figure, parental figure, or parent, or guardian in your life, that you listen to them and their advice, as long as it's good, faithful, and godly, and overall morally ethical advice that you listen to them, because they know what the heck they're talking about. You may think that you know everything. You don't know everything. You're still young, and those people who are trying to help you are once young themselves, and so they know. And I think that it's very good to heed to advice. God says that it's very wise to listen to counsel of older people. And that's what I would tell you guys all to do. And just keep it pushing. If you're not perfect, nobody's perfect. Listen, Abraham, I learned this other day, was a liar, and so was his son Isaac. But you know what? They're still very important people that God loved and respects. So if you mess up, it's fine. Get back on track, and you're good.
Thank you.
Keep on believing, people. God bless.